Hi kids, welcome to another episode of, wait, what am I calling this? It's not food, it's not drinks, I'm crafting, so I don't have a name for this yet. Hi kids, welcome back for another episode. I'm Krista McLemore, and Kevin's outside making noise. So I wanted to say hello, happy February, happy 2020. I thought I'd have plenty of these out by now, but I didn't because life. So I have a couple of things to say today, but what do I have to say today? Which video is this? Plan with me. Okay. So I did a plan with me video back in January that I'm just now getting finished editing in the middle of February. So this is more of a, here's the theme I did, use it going forward if you wish. Plan with me's are a huge thing. I just spit all over the camera. Plan with me's are a huge thing all over the internet, and it's where people are doing a top-down video of their bullet journals or just their journals or their planners, and they're going through and they're drawing things or just setting them up because people are really interested in that. Like, hey, what works for you might work for me, so I'm gonna watch your video. I don't know. I tried to do something a little more aesthetically pleasing than I normally do. My bullet journal style is very minimal. Kind of a, here's my grid for the week. Here are my note pages. Good on you, keep going, you know. But instead what I have is a aesthetically pleasing setup of February, or tried to at least. So if in the future you feel like using this theme, go for it. Tag me in anything that you recreate because I'd love to see if you try this one. Whatever, let's just start it.
Jazz hands. Wow, that's a great way to start this video. First off, I'd like to apologize for the very dramatic music. I did a word association to get me to this month's theme, and I figured everybody was gonna do hearts for February for Valentine's Day or something cutesy like that. Well, I didn't want to be like everybody else because that's not me. And I did a word association to get me to where I'm at. So here's my logic. I did hearts, and then I thought Queen of Hearts, like Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts. Well, she had cards. Well, Casino Royale is, you know, cards and whatnot, but Casino Royale was also a James Bond movie. So that's how I got from Hearts and Valentine's Day to James Bond. I really liked this quote as well. It says, "I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done." And I thought that was a really great quote for this month for myself because I have a lot going on. And so I'm just kind of here sketching out. I had already pre-sketched out the James Bond in the background because I knew that would take forever when trying to do that on video. So I had sat down at my computer or at my desk and I just kind of sketched it out so it would go by a little quicker. Turns out it didn't go by too much quicker. It was still a really long video. So enjoy a cup of tea while you watch this. But this is just the James Bond silhouette. And then, you know, that classic one in the opening of all the movies where he's in the frame of somebody else's gun, like they're gonna shoot at him. So here I'm just using a fine liner pen, and I'm realizing this is taking way too long. So I pull out my brush pen. I'll link in the description box below all that I used. I don't have them in front of me, so I don't know the exact names. They're new supplies to me, so I don't know how to pronounce them or whatnot. But I'll be sure to put a link in the description box below. So if you're interested to check them out, you are more than welcome to. I It's not an affiliation. I don't get paid for any of this. It's just what I used. Here I'm going back to the fine liner because, well, I honestly was too lazy to look for my Sharpies. So I'm just gonna color in all of February with my red fine liner, but of course I'm not gonna make you wait to watch me fill in the entire month word. So we're just gonna snap forward to that. On the other side of the page, you can see the stop. There's a bleed through from something I did a couple pages back with some highlighter. So I'm using my classic bullet journal. I don't remember the name of it, how to pronounce it. Again, I'll put it in the description box below. If you're really interested in doing more artsy type things, I probably wouldn't recommend this bullet journal, only because the pages are kind of thin, so you can't really get in there and color directly on the page. Now, if you wanted to draw on a piece of paper and then maybe glue or tape it in, that would be different. But I was a little disappointed in the fact that I had some highlighters bleed through multiple pages to get to this one. I didn't want to lose a bunch of pages, so I just went with it anyway. I figured the text would kind of take away from it, and it does. You'll see here in just a minute. It kind of blends in, but not great. So going forward, if I wanted to do something a little more aesthetically pleasing or draw directly on my bullet journal, I'd probably go with a journal that has thicker paper. This one just has them, it's too thin. And quite honestly, this is something that I don't normally do. I don't normally draw this much in my bullet journal. So this particular journal actually works great for how I normally use it. I just thought I would try and give it something a little bit more artistic this month. I really enjoy drawing. I found this actually to be very therapeutic as I was drawing. But as you can see, this was my February setup, and I'm getting this out after mid-February. So it just took too long, and now I'm behind on getting this out. So I still wanted to share it with everybody, but it takes a while, and I don't necessarily have that all the time. What you'll see here is I pre-sketched all the words, but I noticed when I was doing the setup, I didn't want to spend too much time really going in there and making all the spacing perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. This year is just about doing things and getting it done. So things I'm trying to teach myself don't always have to be perfect to do them. So I sketched out the words and then I went over them with ink. But when I did the ink, I wanted to make sure that they were spaced a little bit more to my liking. See in the word, the second stop, it's between the S and the T, there's that pink. That's from the highlighter from a page I did a few pages back, and I was a little disappointed in that. Also, I would recommend that if you're going to sketch with pencil and then erase it after you're done with the ink, wait for the ink to dry, because I smeared a bunch of that red. But now we're going to move on to the month, so I can look at the month at a glance and see different things that we have coming up. I really like these month at a glances because they give me an opportunity to kind of see a highlight of what's going on a certain day. Kevin and I tend to use our digital Google Calendar for the things together. But there's something really nice about writing it out in pen or pencil that makes it just feel so much better. It's a lot like reading a book versus an ebook or something. It's that tactile satisfaction. So I'm just going to try to use that same, I'm going to call it a font, that I just hand sketched. I have the elongated top bar of the F, and you'll see here in a second what I did. Because it's James Bond theme, I kind of made it a bullet at the end, as if somebody shot a bullet and it was going through. So I drew it as if it was shot from a bullet. So I thought that was, or from a gun. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I wanted to stick with the same font throughout the whole thing. So on the next page, or within the next page or two, you'll see more of the same font, just to kind of give it, I want to call it branding, but I want to give it, a cohesive look throughout the whole month. There's something just aesthetically pleasing about watching coloring. I don't know what it is. I'm just drawing in a couple of extra lines to kind of fill in the space, the white space. Oh, there's the bullet. I like to pre-sketch everything out in pencil as much as possible, just so that I can make sure I have the right spacing and I don't end up with, a single row that's too small. And then then that would bother me for an entire month or longer. If I got to go back and do this again, I would think about the spacing a little more. I don't like that February, or that Wednesday column is right there in the middle of the crack. It does the job, but I would plan ahead a little better than I did. But I kind of just went with it just to try it. I didn't have this one pre-planned out, and I realized I probably should have. So I just drew a couple of little black dots, and then I went over it with a white marker, a white pen, jelly roll pen, and I had to go over that actually a couple of times. So I don't know if it's the jelly roll pen or the paper. I'm not really sure. Down there at the bottom of the key, a lot of people like to use symbols for tasks and whatnot. I'm much more about color coding. So birthdays are light blue. Arthur Murray, that's my full-time job. Those are things I do in a darker blue because it's kind of their brand. Events are in green, and red, obviously, is YouTube. So on my month, I can just write the word Kim, and that tells me when her birthday is because it's a color coded. And there goes my clock. Sorry about that. We also had some appointments upcoming that were, of course I do this right when our clock is going to go off. Timing, Krista. It's all about timing. So I just kind of pre-filled in a couple of tasks. Of course, I'll go back in and do more. So here I'm going to do a habit tracker. I'm going to track some NC, again, using that font. I want to track some things like drinking my water, getting in sleep, and exercise. That's the plan, to actually track those things, to make sure I'm doing them. And then I see people use a habit tracker on one page and a mood tracker on another, but I wanted to see side by side how these things that I'm taking care of myself affect my mood. Or if I didn't get enough water, did I have a migraine? So on this page, I actually did both my habit tracker and my mood tracker. So I'm just writing out those things. Like I said, I want time to create because that's actually really important to me. I find that I get a little more on the depressed side if I don't find time to make things. I'm very much a creator and I need that for myself. Wasn't a huge fan of just trying to do it with the dot journal. So I actually drew in the grid in a lighter gray to make it a little easier for filling in. And right here, I'm actually deciding in the moment to put the mood tracker on the bottom. So my mood, what did that end up being for the day? Like what color? Because I want to be able to track, oh, you were in a grumpy mood and you had a migraine. So that's what the little dot in the box is. So if the box is colored in this dark purple and I have a dot in it, that means I was grumpy and I had a migraine. I want to see how all of those things line up together. Do they correlate with the migraines, or migraines a seasonal allergy thing? I don't know.
So let me stop you right here. I don't habit tracker anything. So why I thought I would this time, I just was watching other people and I was like, yeah, everybody's doing these habit trackers. I should probably do them too. Blah, 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 blah. Do you. Set it up your way. Do your bullet journal. Don't conform to everybody else's. I don't use habit trackers. I have no idea why I took the time to actually draw it out, to pencil it out, to marker it out, and now it just sits there. It is February 16th and I haven't touched it. Not once. So if you don't habit tracker, don't. Who cares? It's a bullet journal. It's meant to be for what you're gonna use, not what everybody else uses, and you waste your time setting it up. I'm not bitter. It's fine. We'll just carry on.
Here I like to do a little bit of a brain dump. It gives me a page that will allow me to have anything I have going on my brain, just a place to put it and a place to find it. One of the things I love most about bullet journals is just the fact that you can use it for whatever you want on whatever pages you want. So I just kind of preset this up so that I have a place to go and find it. Now here is a setup that I have found. I've been using bullet journals since 2016, 17, something like that. And I think 17. By the way, thank you, Kim. I absolutely love my bullet journal. She's the one who got me into it. I have been using it and I tried several different setups. So I want you to see the one that I use the most and how effective it is for me in this one. Maybe in another video upcoming, I will go through, if you're interested, I'll go through some of the other layouts because those might work for you, whereas this one might not. I just kind of want to give you an idea of a different way that you can set it up. So I set it up in a way that is Monday through Friday have their own full length column. And then that last one on the far right is actually Saturday and Sunday. So I split it. I do a lot of stuff on Saturdays and Sundays, but it doesn't ever tend to need a lot of writing. So like I said, it'll either go in our calendar online or it will go in here, but it's normally just a high level, we're recording. And then down in that bottom row that I have chunked out, that's actually for notes. I've used that to put my grocery list. I've used that to put my other tasks I need to do. In that bottom corner you just saw, I was making a monthly calendar. I set this the columns up Monday through Sunday, but my calendar in the bottom has always been Sunday through Saturday. And until just now, I realized that's dumb. I should probably make them match. So I actually took a page from the back of the book and I cut a piece out the same size that I needed, and I remade the calendar, and then using my Tombow double-sided tape, I put the calendar on top. So now it's Monday through Sunday, because technically my days start on Mondays and Saturday and Sunday are my weekend. So there you have it. Here's a flip through of our journal. Here's my weekly spread. I will go through and actually set up all 5 weeks of this, and then they're already ready for me to go. My brain dump and my habit tracker, my February calendar at a glance, and a title page with an inspiring quote.
So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. It is very helpful to know Can you do this while we're waiting? I freaked some people out by doing this one day. I was just thinking to myself and I did this and they were like, what are you doing? And I said, can you do this? And they thought it was so weird that I could bend my fingers like this and then I could do this. And like, seriously, I thought it was weird. Anyway, I think he's done. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these, maybe plan with me's, maybe just here's what my bullet journal looks like. Maybe you don't care. Then don't watch the plan with me ones. I do plan on doing some more crafting things. This channel is going to be kind of evolving into something a little more than just food and cocktails. So stay tuned for that announcement video coming up very soon. But I want to close this out so that I can get this video out before March. Love you, bye. Chubby bunny.